Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you 5 different baseline inbound plays that you can use against a 2-3 zone defense, so stay tuned. This is what the typical 2-3 zone setup will look like. It will change depending on how we set up for our inbound plays. The first inbound is great when you have a taller player who is also great at sealing their defender on their back. Here the ball is out of bounds on the baseline. A small but important detail here is to make sure your players know not to inbound the ball from under the basket. They should inbound outside of the extended key and step back from the baseline. So we set up for this first inbound play with our tallest player in front of the rim, our post player in front of the ball on the block, and our other forward on the opposite block. Our other guard sets up at the top of the key outside of the 3-point line. This setup will force the 2-3 zone to respond like this. Our first look is going to be a lob over the top to our middle player. This requires a few things to be successful. First is that both our inbounder and player 5 need to recognize that the middle defender is looking away from the inbounder. Then player 5 and the inbounder need to have some sort of nonverbal cue to indicate that they both know the lob is coming. This can be a simple raising of the eyebrows or even a quick looking up at the rim. The pass to player 5 needs to be high and soft enough so your big can catch and shoot at the highest point without coming down. You'll only get this maybe once or twice in a game if the defense really isn't paying attention. So let's say that the lob pass isn't there. On go, player 3 will move out to the corner looking for the ball and trying to draw their defender out from around the basket. Your inbounder can really help move this defender with their eyes and body language looking like they're going to pass there. At the same time, player 5 draws his defender inside, then cuts to the ball side short corner as player 4 moves to set a screen on that middle defender. Also at the same time, player 1 moves to get a line of sight with the ball as a safety outlet. Here's what those first movements look like. Now, in this first look, player 5's defender gets caught in the screen and player 4's defender doesn't rotate out. You'll rarely see this happen, but if it does, player 5 should be always ready to receive this pass for an open shot. Or you can pass it back to the inbounder for an open corner shot. What normally happens on this play is player 4's defender will recognize the screen and move out to cover player 5 cutting across. When that happens, a quick reverse pivot and seal of this inside defender will give you a wide open reverse layup under the basket. This is the main scoring option we're looking for from this play. You'll be surprised at how often you'll get this wide open look right under your basket. One key teaching point here is for player 5 to be patient and not cut towards the short corner until player 4 has set the screen. And if you can't get the ball into player 4 or 5, player 1 is our safety outlet. Hey, thanks for watching the video. I just wanted to let you know that you can watch me animate these plays right here on my channel. For less than the cost of a coffee per month, you can have full access to my play animation screen recordings and even join me on a YouTube Live where I can answer your animation questions in real time. Become a member today and start animating your plays so you can start really transforming your practice time from teaching to honing your plays. Now, back to the video. The next inbound play is my absolute favorite to run against a 2-3 zone. This is one of those plays you might want to keep in your back pocket until you really need a bucket. Here's our setup for this out of bounds play. We have a double stack outside of the paint and right in front of our inbounder. One guard is set opposite the ball, inside the 3-point line, just above the double stack. Our other guard is set at the top of the key outside of the 3-point line. It's important that our double stack be close enough so that a defender can't position themselves in between them. If that happens, this play is dead. Just get the ball in. This formation will force the 2-3 zone to shift to something like this. Player 3 in the double stack is our main scoring option. Player 1 here is our decoy and player 2 is our safety outlet. You want the player in the main scoring option to be a good mid-range shooter. I personally like someone who likes to use the glass from 5 to 8 feet. Key teaching point here is our body positioning. All of our players on the court should be facing the baseline at the start of the play. On go, our double stack is going to turn towards the middle and set a double screen for player 1, our decoy. Player 1 is going to cut across the key, use the double screen, and get to the ball side corner. Key teaching point here is for your inbounder to track player 1 with their eyes and make it look like we want to inbound the ball to them. Remember, the defense is in a 2-3 zone, so this bottom defender is usually not going to leave their designated zone area when player 1 cuts across the key. So on go, or the slap of the ball, player 1 cuts across the key. If they're open here, inbound the ball to them for the open shot. You're not likely to see this open look, but teach your players to be ready for this. What happens most often is the double screen alerts this defender, who will rotate out to cover our decoy in the corner. Once that defender rotates out, player 5 will move to set a second screen on this middle defender, and player 3 will pop out to receive the inbound pass. You'll be surprised at how open player 3 will be on this play. Sometimes the middle defender will move in front of the double screen. Your second screener should always set their screen to where player 3 can get the open shot. And if the middle defender is hanging out under the basket, be sure to take up all the space when setting the second screen. And if you're unable to get the ball into the corner or set a good second screen, just inbound the ball to your outlet on the wing. Now this inbound play is to get an open look for your best outside shooter. To set up for this play, we are in a 4-player stack above the block and away from the key. This play is for an outside shot, so you want your best shooter in the 3rd position in the stack. On go, the 1st, 2nd, and 4th players in the stack will move to set screens on these 3 defenders. Player 2 will move to receive the pass in this open area behind the screens. Everyone is always a bit confused to see a stack inbound against the zone, but this play works really well to get your shooter open. Sometimes this bottom defender will move in front of the stack. Player 5 just moves forward to set the screen and we still get that open look. If a defender moves on the other side of our stack, our second player will set the screen on that defender. If the zone is playing tighter around the basket, move your stacking closer to the paint. With your stack formation this close to the key, your shooter may have an open 10 to 15 foot mid-range rather than a 3. A strict stack formation is mostly for younger teams or teams just learning this play. A more advanced setup is one that doesn't look like a play at all. We're sort of in a stack, but our players are just walking around like nothing is really happening. They already know which defender they're going to screen, and when the ball is handed to our inbounder, they move to set their screens and we get a wide open shot. Learn this play with the stack formation first, then switch to this less obvious and highly effective version. It's a lot of fun to execute. Hey, we're about to jump back into the video, but I have 2 quick questions for you. Do you want to increase your influence with your players? Do you want to maximize your limited practice time without losing the fun? If you said yes to those, then mastering time is key. Doing a practice time audit showed me exactly where my practice time was going and where it was being wasted. Animating my plays, like the one you're watching now, is the only thing that gave me more time to practice and be more intentional about connecting with my players. As a young coach, I spent so much time thinking about what's going to make the biggest impact on the next game. Is it going to be defense, ball handling, passing, offense, and inbound play? Experienced coaches know that when you have trust and connection, that actually impacts and raises everything else. And those 2 things require time. If you're ready to tackle both, check out the resources that I've created in the description below. If you like this, leave a like. If you like the content, please subscribe. Now, back to the video. Inbound play number 4 is again designed for a spot-up shot. This is a simple play, but difficult to execute if your bigger players aren't able to make a strong and accurate skip pass over and across the court. For this play, we want our best shooter to inbound the ball and our other 4 players on the wings and the elbows above the free throw line extended. On go, the 2 ball side players will move diagonally down towards the baseline. You should have no problem inbounding the ball to player 4 in the corner. Player 3 moves down to help shift the defense over. Once the ball is inbounded to the corner, we make a strong skip pass over the top to the opposite wing. When our opposite wing receives the pass, they need to assume a good triple threat stance and wait for the defense to rotate over. Once the defense has rotated over, our 3 and 4 players should wait for these 2 defenders to turn their heads and look at the ball. Once that happens, our 3 and 4 players will set crossing back screens on these 2 defenders. The cross screen will help to conceal this action. Then our inbounder, our best shooter, will move in behind the two screens into this area to receive the skip pass back from player 5. It's important that the two back screens are set up one step away from the defender because they are blind screens. All the small details in this play combine to make it highly effective in getting you a wide open shot on the wing. Play number 5 has a few different options and requires more read and react from your players on the court. For this play, we are set up in a box formation with our best shooter on the low block opposite the ball, and here's the 2-3 zone adjusted to our setup. On go, our two players on the block will move up and look like they're going to set screens. Then they're going to slip and cut to the corners. At the same time, player 4 is going to cut to the opposite low block. Player 1's job is to draw this defender away from the paint when they cut back towards the baseline asking for the ball. Player 4's job is to cut hard to the opposite block and draw the attention of this defender. If that bottom defender picks up player 4, then we have our best shooter wide open in the corner. After player 4 cuts, player 5 will cut to the ball side looking for the ball. If we're successful in getting the bottom defenders to guard our cutters around the basket, we'll have this open shot all day. What often happens is this bottom defender will pop out to cover the curling shooter, and this defender will rotate to cover the first cutter, leaving our cutting big with a wide open layup. Your inbounder needs to be patient and make the correct read on the defense. Cut with intention to get the ball, be patient on your cuts, and you'll get plenty of wide open looks with this play. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching my video. If you like this, leave a like. If you like the content, please subscribe and hit the bell notification because it helps out the channel a ton. I really hope you'll give these inbound plays a try. These plays really do work, and the fun you and your players will have turning these plays into easy scoring opportunities is so awesome. There's a lot more plays you can check out on my channel. Review this offense again, share it with your team, and I'll see you right away in the next video.